His wedding planning has potentially ended my 33 female relationship with fiancé 35 male.
Oh, shit. That's my worst nightmare.
I am planning my wedding, and my fiancé has wanted little to nothing to do with planning. We've been together for close to 8 years, and this is his MO to default work to me. Things requiring his input, like the guest list, have caused arguments because I haven't sent invites out and the wedding is a few months away. But he hasn't given me some people's contact information even after I asked a few times in the last 3-ish months, and almost no one on the guest list are my invites. Even selecting a venue was such a pain. I researched and contacted at least 50 venues and narrowed it down to 2, and he made such a fuss when I asked him to meet with both to help us make the final decision as a team, like I was inconveniencing him. He's not talking to me right now because we had an argument about where and when hair and makeup for the bridal party would happen. I had spent a month connecting with hair and makeup professionals to find the right ones for me and work out a timeline that fits in the schedule for the big day. His family called and said we really need to speed up our planning, which caused him to accuse me of being too slow, and specifically said I need to book hair and makeup. I told him I already had, but instead of saying okay and moving on, he argued with me and said I didn't do it the right way and I picked the wrong start time and location. I tried assuring him that I knew what I was doing, but he then said I've never planned something successfully and he was just having a civil conversation and I was being defensive. And he walked away and hasn't spoken to me since, for a few days. He wanted the wedding. I would rather pay a judge without any celebration, so his behavior makes me feel terrible and like he doesn't trust me or hear me when I tell him he's causing unnecessary roadblocks to planning or wanting to dictate how it's planned after the fact, even though I've been asking his opinion on everything at every step. He only takes warnings or expressions of concern when someone else brings it up. If I bring up my feelings, they're dismissed as me being immature or too sensitive. Anyway, I've paused further planning because this doesn't make me feel confident in the wedding, but hoping for any advice. Please be kind, this is my version of events, and he isn't on Reddit to defend himself. Thanks in advance.
That is very interesting. Right away, it sounds like she says that she's doing everything, and he sounds like he's just chilling, sitting back, and not helping at all. And then wants to complain about things. So, really, she needs to tell him, like, unless you're going to do something, don't say anything at all at this point, because you're not the one planning it. Like, what the hell? I don't know. That just sounds like also, well, he's the one that I'm guessing proposed. She says that he wanted the wedding, so. Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't really sound like he doesn't want to get married. It just sounds like he's just being lazy and just makes it seem like it's like an easy job to plan a whole wedding. Yeah. But then wants to talk shit about what she's doing. Yeah, or rush her, because rushing that process is not. No. Yeah.
I think I would start a riot.
Yeah, I would be pissed.
I would pop off.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. Probably earlier than, like, she has. I think he's doing it for the wrong reasons. Mm-hmm. And I think he's putting, like, he's taking, like, a society standpoint of, like, oh, the woman should enjoy doing this. Like, I'm just letting her do it. Yeah. Or, like, oh, the woman wants to, like, is the one that should plan the wedding. Right. When she's already expressed, like, she needs help with certain things, like the guest list. And I think he's doing it for the wrong reasons because he only takes things seriously when someone else brings it up. True. So I think he's doing it for the show of, like, other people. Mm-hmm. Because if they've been together for 8 years and he's just now doing a wedding, mm-hmm. like, they've been together this whole time. Right. He could have done a wedding earlier, mm-hmm. and he's just focusing on, like, everyone else and not taking into account, like, how she's feeling or what she wants, and is being very dismissive of her, like, the person he's actually supposed to be marrying. Exactly. And I think what people don't realize is that, like, yeah, your wedding could be fun, but there's going to be so many weddings after your wedding, like, someone might bring it up once or twice, be like, oh, yeah, that was fun, but no one's going to be like, oh, that was the wedding of the century. Right.
Like, I highly doubt that.
Yeah, like, unless you're going to be married, and you're going to like, be with your wife.
Exactly.
So if she felt dismissed, like, before this, like, she's literally considering, like, not being with him because of the way he's making her feel.
Yeah, which
like,
is sad.
That's my biggest problems with weddings, is that, like, people forget that it's really supposed to be about, like, the love and, like, two people and, like, families joined together. And then they think that as an excuse, like, they use a wedding as an excuse to, like, treat people poorly.
Yeah.
And then relationships fall out, like, left and right because of it.
Exactly.
So that's my biggest problem with weddings.
Yeah.
But, like, I also am in the same boat. Like, I would elope. I don't really care.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's not a big deal to me. I don't need the, like, big white dress. Like, I've never been the girl who's, like, planned it since I was young. So, like, it would annoy me if someone who wanted a wedding was like, oh, you have to plan everything.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've always wanted a wedding. I've always wanted a huge, well, not even huge, but I've always wanted a wedding.
It's gonna have to be huge. You have, like, 3 million people in your family.
Try to limit that. But, yeah, no, even then, like, I wouldn't want to be the one doing everything at all.
Yeah.
One, obviously, that's so much pressure. It's so stressful. There's so much you have to do, and it's just, like, impossible. And if you're not getting any help from the person you're marrying, literally for the both of you, the party for the both of you,
yeah,
like, I'd be so pissed. And then I would literally be like, you have no say then. Like, you cannot talk. Yeah. Don't tell me anything.
It's already done. Like, I think certain things should, like, they should have from the jump, like, assigned certain things. Because why does he have a say on, like, hair and makeup? That's going to be done to her and, like, her friends.
Like, relax, one.
And she already booked it. He's spiraling, and he's not just making it about the wedding also. Right. Because he's not keeping the argument to just the wedding. Like, he's saying, like, oh, you've never planned anything successfully. You've done this and that.
Yeah, like, why would you say that? It's crazy.
All the wrong things.
Yeah, no, not helping at all. So I would literally, I don't know. She just needs to talk to him, like, I mean, I don't know if she has. She didn't say that she did, but just be like, you haven't helped at all, and all you've done is complain. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Don't start coming at me.
We have a little update. Because I guess she saw, like, what everyone was commenting, and they were probably, like, trashing him a lot.
Probably.
But she says, update. Thanks everyone who has commented and shared their perspective or advice. I'm seeing 3 trends in the responses. 1, why would you want to be with or marry this guy? 2, drop him now, thank me later. Or 3, seek out couples counseling to confirm if there's anything to salvage before making a decision. So the first point, it's hard to articulate. He has had my back in situations when no one else had, not even family would. I do love him, but I come from a trauma-filled upbringing and rationally acknowledge that I could be falling into that same cycle, which I will speak to a professional about. He sees a therapist regularly. Second point, definitely an option, and appreciate everyone's candor. Candor? Yeah. I'm not one to be quick and pull a trigger, so to speak, but I am taking time to weigh my options and really sit with the negatives, which leads me to the third point. This eases my mind and could be critical in the healing process if and when this does fall apart. I will start with individual for myself to process before potentially approaching him about couples counseling. Regarding his family, they are very supportive and treat me well. I don't believe they are pushing him to get married or trying to meddle or have bad intentions. So, I think the counseling is the best option.
Yeah.
I think it's a good sign that he sees a therapist on his own.
No, for sure.
I do think that she needs to see one too, like she said.
She has, a lot of.
Yeah, so because she said she would, like, speak to a professional, and I think they do need to, like,
I don't know. It could also be, it's just hard because you just don't know the personalities of these people. Yeah. And it could be where she, like, at the beginning, like, of planning it, like, did everything. And a lot of times with guys, if you do everything,
they're just like, oh, she's got it. Like,
yeah, and then they'll put their 2 cents in when they, like, it's not necessary. And then you get annoyed because then you feel like you're doing everything. But it's because you started off with doing everything. And, I mean, I'm not saying I don't do this, but... Yeah. I mean, whatever. But... a lot of women do this where you just do a lot and then you don't say anything, you start getting annoyed that you are doing everything because the guy just sits back and just lets you, and then whatever. But he's also being obviously annoying because he keeps talking like shit.
Bringing up other
He's not talking shit.
No, he is. He's bringing up other stuff, like whatever. I think the best thing would be couples counseling.
Yeah, and like see what is happening, because either there's something deep down happening where he doesn't want to get married or something, or it could be that she was just doing everything in the beginning, so now she feels like she was doing everything, and I'm like, well, you kind of were then.
Yeah.
But
point of this episode: everyone get therapy. Figure it out. Something deeper is going on.
Something deeper is always happening. No,
not always, but if there's like all this other stuff,
because if it's like when you're fighting about something stupid, where you could clearly just be like, where you can't like sit back and think about it and be like, oh wait, that's really not that big of a deal, and then move on from it. Like, it has to be something deeper. I don't know. Yeah,
but 8 years is a long time, so like I wouldn't say automatically just throw everything away. I would definitely like place, because if she comes from a trauma-filled background, it might be hard for her to place boundaries.
Right.
So she might not have had a situation in the past with him where she felt like she needed to put boundaries, and this might be the first like big thing that they're planning together. So like now all of this stuff is coming up, and the way he's reacting, like she might not have dealt with that before.
True.
So now is a good time, especially if you plan on marrying this person, whether it's a wedding or a courthouse or not. Like, all these other people, like I said, these guests are not going to be involved in your marriage.
Yeah.
So, like, whether it's a courthouse wedding or it isn't, they need to figure out their stuff together and set their own boundaries, like, that he can't bring up other stuff or just, like, shit talk her for no reason, like, when it has nothing to do with it. So, they just need to go to couples counseling.
Yeah. Sounds like
figure it out. It sounds like they have the support of at least his family.
Yeah.
And like she said, he's been supportive in the past, so I'm sure it can like come back.
Definitely. And again, those are stressful times anyways.
Yeah.
She's probably, I don't know.
It is a bit of a red flag, like, because it's like months.
Yeah,
of,
because
like,
he's like
trying.
He's like blaming a lot of things on her, which is, that's like annoying. That's like when it's like not fair, but
it's like back up a little bit. Yeah. Like she said, like, check yourself first, like, take care of, like, prioritizing you, making sure you're good, and then work on the relationship.
Exactly.